As an old fogey, what a lot of people don't know is, I think those of us who grew up in the 90s knew that that was when television switched and programmed us into hookup culture. Anyone a fan of Seinfeld or Friends, focus on Joey, Sex in the City, Carrie and all her friends, having sex all over the city. And notice it was New York. It was all based in New York and I think we all fell for it. And today, what we're seeing is our young people have joined this culture without even knowing its roots. That it was a fantasy. No one got pregnant. No one got an STD. It was implied that everyone used contraception. I guess we all took that for granted. As I look at the dating market, I don't envy the folks in Gen Z. I grew up in a simpler time. And when I look at and listen to what Gen Z folks are saying about the dating market, sometimes I feel like Frodo leaving the Shire and going out into the world and seeing that things are much different out there. And my own personal experience of dating was kind of simple. You lost weight, you got your career together, and then you went to a church and found a very nice woman, a virtuous woman. They call it what? The Proverbs 31 woman. That was pretty, when I look back at it, it was pretty simple. I went to a very small church, found a lovely woman, got married. Now, we're relationship for 20 years and a marriage for 17 years. Fantastic. Today's dating market is completely different because I had geographic limitations. The internet was not around back then. So, it was there, but not prevalent. Today, your dating market is wider and bigger, and it covers out, it's actually, I would say, continental. It's actually somewhat international, although, visa restrictions may actually make it more national. But because the dating market is so large now, you have a bit larger competition. Now true alphas are able to run wild because they can have different women in different towns. They could even live beside each other because we're not connected by, familial relationships in a small town. We're connected by the internet. So, and I like this young woman's take. I've enthralled with her perspective, and I think she's a young philosopher. So I'd like her to just speak on certain things which I only saw on television, like you saw Sex and the City, you saw all of this stuff of young people, dating each other, serial dating, you saw Seinfeld. But today the dating market is different. So I'd like her to just say her piece, and I really respect when young people are perceptive and they provide you with a window in the current world. So let's move on to her.
This is the realest shit I've ever heard, and I think the world should hear it too. Never judge someone on their choices if you don't know their options. And what I mean by that, never criticize someone on what they did if you don't know what they faced. Because maybe if you were put in that situation, you would have done the same thing. Living life like that, you'll be able to see everything through multiple perspectives rather than just your own. Looking at the bigger picture sometimes is better than focusing in on the details. Holiday season is coming up, so I need to address some of my family members right now. Do not ask about my relationship status if you are not ready to hear the honest truth, and let me tell you why. Because I'm leading like 5 people on, I'm in love with someone who don't even love me back, I'm getting over an ex, and I am getting dick on the low. So am I single? I don't know, up to you, it's complicated. But if you're not ready to hear that answer, then don't fucking ask. You know how hard it is to be a hopeful romantic in a generation that values hookup culture more? We got situationships, ex-situationship, friendships with benefits. There's so many ships out here, I'm getting lost in the big blue sea. Where's the relationship boat? How did I miss that stop? Why am I not on that one? Are you dumb? Take me out to dinner. I don't want to just fuck.
Yo, I love black women, man. I love black women to death, but they're addicted to fucking struggle love. Y'all gotta stop letting these hood niggas fuck your life up. Stop that shit, bro. Stop letting hood niggas fuck your life up. Stop being addicted to struggle love, bro. It's not gonna help your fucking life. Having a baby by some guy who's not gonna raise your kid is not gonna help your life. You're gonna fuck up the black community. You're gonna fuck up your kids, man. You're gonna fuck it up, man. Being a single mom, again, I was raised by a single mom. I respect single moms a lot. I respect single moms, But if you can avoid that and have your kid have a better life, avoid that shit. Don't let these guys out here fuck your life up, man. You look like a goofy. You look like a goofy, bro. A goofy Goldberg, bro.
Why are these single women in their 30s angry and bitter? It's because they're not pretty anymore. How do we know this? Well, you see, men being shallow wasn't a problem for her when she was 21. It didn't matter to her back when she was beautiful that men weren't committing because she had options. She was at her sexual market peak and she was flooded with male attention. You don't tend to see a problem with how a system operates, like the dating market, if you're the prime beneficiary. You know, if you've got the privileged position, then you have no complaints. The thing is, though, that women at their peak don't realize that they're in a privileged position.
Now, what the hell is a situationship? Like, these are new things I've never heard of before. I feel like an old fogey now. But anyhow, you can see the challenges that is there. It's the lack of commitment and the fact that, you know, and a lot of times, black women and it's black men, but this is not just in the black community. There's a wider and a larger culture that's there, that it's more in the hookup culture rather than it's just, being a stable. And I'm surprised at another item that a lot of young people are not using contraceptives as they should. So you get these pregnancies and STDs and all of this stuff. This is something that I think with the culture needs to be improved because, when you watch old time and you watch Seinfeld, just think of it like anyone who watched Seinfeld from the 90s. Imagine if Seinfeld was kind of like, Seinfeld was sleeping with all these different women on each episode, but he didn't end up with a baby mother. That part was, if you think about it, he had to be using contraception to not do that. And it's the same thing with Sex in the City. Carrie did not have a baby for a man accidentally. And these are the things that as we look at our current culture, I know cultures will evolve, but there's some issues with this culture which needs to be improved. If they don't improve, then you're going to have a more baby mother culture, not only in the black community. This is spreading and this is going outside of the community. And something that as young men, I'm not a young man anymore, but you guys as young men, there is a value in that traditional marriage, that traditional relationship. That is one of the greatest incubator of developing a successful next generation. And if we don't value marriage and value long-term relationships, what we will end up with is a gradual decline to become third world. I guarantee you it. Because once children grew up in these broken homes where fathers are leaving and going about their business, now, like we talk about divestment, fathers divesting from their responsibility. That's horrible. And that's what you end up with, these horrible communities, because people are not doing what they're supposed to do. So I want us as I keep saying us, I am not a young person. I want you guys as young people to think about it. Think of more sticking with these long-term traditional relationships. As I said, it's proven. Why fix something that's not broken? Something to think about.